Hello and welcome to this week's Music Alerts, where I show you what physical media I have received in the post this week. I've got a mix of CDs and vinyl for you, so let's start with CD. First up is a UK label called Avid. Now, if you know your hi-fi, no, this is not the same guys who produce those expensive turntables. This is a different Avid. This particular label is a veteran of the industry, launched in 1991, and they specialize in quality compilations on CD. And this duo, I have two double CD packs for you, is no different. First up, we have jazz and 4 albums squeezed onto 2 discs from the hard bop trumpeter Art Farmer. So they include When Farmer Met Grice. I think it's Grice. That's the altoist Gigi Grice. Or was it Grease? I think it's Grice, from 1955. This album also features Kenny Clarke and Horace Silver. Next up is Farmer's Market from 1956, and Silver is there again, plus Hank Mobley. Third on the list, we have Last Night When We Were Young from 1958, and that's with Quincy Jones, who does all the arranging. And finally, we have Art from 1960, and that features the pianist Tommy Flanagan. The next 2 CD collection is from The Coasters, and this features 4 CDs from the R&B outfit. You get the self-titled release from 1958, One by One from 1960, Coasting Along from 1961, and Greatest Hits from 1959. This double CD pack also features 8 bonus tracks. Now, one or two of you might recognise this particular face. This actual album, though, is from another UK outfit, Demon, and this particular album is Euphoria from Claire Richards. Richards used to be a member of the band Steps. Steps had, well, a number of big hits in pop terms. For example, the cover of the Bee Gees' Tragedy. This is Richards' second solo album, and within you'll also find guest spots from the Aussie singer Delta Goodrem, plus the Erasure bloke Andy Bell. And we have one from Toyah. Now, Toyah's LP, The Court of the Crimson Queen, first appeared in 2008, but this new album is I say new album, it's a kind of reimagining of the original '08 album. It has 4 new tracks. There are remixes of the older tracks, and there's also new arrangements. In a clamshell box, this is post-punk London group The Sounds, The Static Records Years. This is a 5 CD collection of recordings from, well, a very narrow window, 1984 to 1985, packaged with a 24-page booklet are the original releases, Shock of Daylight, Heads and Hearts, plus others, and previously unreleased early versions of Whirlpool and Wildest Dreams. There are single versions of 1000 Reasons and Temperature Drop, plus all kinds of demos and unreleased songs, and a whole lot more. First up from Hardwicke Circus is Fly the Flag, which has nothing to do with the Eurovision track, this particular one. This is, in fact, on the Alternative Facts label. And what you've got here is a right old mix of styles and musical approaches. From, well, a sort of rather retro indie band kind of sound to a kind of madness-alike ska-esque noise. There's some soul in there. One track sounds very much like Van Morrison. It's all here, but it's always chirpy and up-tempo and rather cheery. Next, the Mystic Chords of Memories self-titled release on Big Potato appears to be a reissue of a 2004 release recorded in 2003. This is classic bedroom recording flavoured songs, recorded quite intimately, very relaxed, easygoing. It's a bit Belle and Sebastian, but more attractive and interesting, I would say. It's a little bit like Low, but with slightly more energy and psychedelic flavours. Back to Demon now, and a couple of 7-inch singles. Firstly, there's the ex-Yardbird lead vocalist Keith Relph and his single Mr. Zero. This was the man's debut solo single, and it has the track Knowing on the flip. This one is encased in a rather rare French sleeve. Speaking of the Yardbirds, check out this reissue of this 7-inch featuring 2 tracks, the rather psychedelic leaning over, under, sideways, down, plus on the other side, Jeff's Boogie. Both featured remastered versions of the rare stereo mixers, the US stereo mixers. Back to the 12 inches now, and next is Donna Summer, and this half-speed remaster of the 1989 album featuring the singles This Time I Know It's For Real, which was a number 3 UK hit and a number 7 US chart hit. Also, I Don't Want to Get Hurt and Love's About to Change. There were 2 other lower rated, or lower charting, I should say, singles. This is a stock Aitken and Waterman production. New wave and punk now, and a compilation curated by Gary Crowley and Jim Lahat. Is that how you pronounce his surname, Lahat? This is volume 2, and it's a double album featuring 28 tracks. And actually, well, there's some good stuff here. This is not a throwaway compilation. You'll find tracks from Dolly Mixture magazine, X-Ray Specs, The Slits, The Cure, The Flies, and many more. Good stuff. Next, I have 2 LPs from Silver Sun, the Rocking London Quartet, with their late 90s variant of teenage fan club kind of sound. And first up, You Are Here, a Japanese-only 10-tracker compilation release featuring all kinds of B-sides and rarities. In addition, there is a similar compilation called B is for Silver Sun from 1997, which carries on the Japanese-only rarities track listing. If you like the band, you really need both of these. I mentioned The Sound at the beginning in the CD section. Well, they're back, but this time on vinyl and New Way of Life. This is a collection of lost demos from the band and from the period when they were with the Static record label. Now, if you know the band, you may have seen these tracks already on the 2015 CD box set, but this is the first time, I think, that they've appeared on vinyl. Finally, a 30-tracker. This is a double album called Produced by Tony Visconti. It's being curated by the man as well, and features all kinds of tracks that he has worked on, from the likes of U2 and Altered Images, T-Rex, Sparks, the Dandy Warhols, Adam and the Ants, the Ivies, and a whole lot more. This is a fascinating collection because of that personal connection. And that's it, folks. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. And if you can help me out, just further down there are a couple of buttons. Can you click on the like and subscribe buttons, please? It would just help this channel to grow even further. And further down still, I'll put some links to some of the companies featured in this video. There's other links to my website and my Facebook group and my Patreon page, and that's where you'll find hi-fi news. In the latest hi-fi news, there's no hi-fi news. Well, there's a bit of a haul of secondhand vinyl I'll be showing you. There's a kind of Any Other Business special, which I'll be looking at antique fairs and also at ELO, actually. It's a bit of a mishmash. Anyway, check it out. I hope you enjoy it. Besides all of that, I'll be back on Sunday with something hi-fi related, something vinyl related, I think. So check that out as well. I'll be hoping, what am I about to say? I hope that you can, that's what I'm trying to say. I hope that you can join me on a Sunday for that video, and love to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.